Nocturnal. Nightlife just got better. Forget about everything for a moment. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party.
Welcome to Nocturnal, the television variety show that reminisces in tempo. Tonight we are at the Osu Night Market, and I'm here with my co-host
DJ JP, and tonight at the night market I'm going to enjoy some lovely kinky with some friends as well as we talk about the old school secondary days. The night market was set up a long time ago, but in 1995 it was refurbished to what we see today.
From here we're going to go to a guest home and find out the difference between Arabica coffee and Robusta coffee. Do you know that in Ghana we grow coffee?
I had no idea. I knew about cocoa but not coffee.
Well, we'll also taste coffee grown and brewed in Ghana.
See you on the show. Stay tuned.
Nocturnal. Nightlife just got better. Forget about everything for a moment. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party.
So this is JP and welcome back from the commercial break. We're live right here on the Nocturnal Nighttime Variety TV show. And we're live inside the Osu Night Market right now to enjoy some kinky with some fish, pepper, I see some pork as well, and a bunch of other condiments. And we're going to talk to the executive producer, Ekim, as well, to find out how Nocturnal started. And we're also going to talk about the old school days and what's been going on in years ago. So stay tuned and join us on this show.
I like kinky. I just think that kinky is also a narcotic. So when I eat kinky, I get drowsy. Especially Ghana kinky.
Same with 1,000 other
exactly
as well.
So when I eat it at night, so that when I finish eating it, I'm ready for bed.
There you go. In peace. But
exactly.
Back in school, we didn't have access to kinky. We were probably doing Gary.
Yeah, Gary was the main thing, soakings, and we had different ways to, to soak it,
to flex it.
And for me, my favorite was always Gary with milk and groundnuts. Exactly.
That was soakings. And how about
soakings, exactly.
How about the Gary Shito, sardine, corned beef?
I've never been a big pepper person, so pepper has not been my thing. Small pepper, no, I start to sweat. So I rather go with the cold versions of Gary than the hot versions. Exactly.
And like back in the day, how was your eating like? Because I know back in school, either you're eating alone or you're eating with friends all the time.
Well, first of all, most of the time when you had the food, the seniors ate most of your food. So that was number one. Secondly, what little you had left was for you, because half the time the food in the dormitory was horrible. I mean, not the food in the dormitory, but the food in the cafeteria. Oh, it was horrible. So you found salvation in the food that you had in your chop box. What little you had for yourself.
And whatever home cho
was coming in, exactly.
If you're lucky enough.
Exactly.
So, and on my side, there was this other trick where you sneak food from the dining room. Because we're not allowed to take food out to the dining room.
Okay.
So you sneak food out to the dining room, take it back to your room, then you can remix it.
How?
Whatever it is. I mean, if it's rice, then the pepper and the sardine and whatever else comes up into it.
You used to do that?
If it's kinky too.
Oh, day student.
You're a day student. Okay.
Lucky.
No, for me the cafeteria food was a no-go. I hated it from the start till I finished boarding school. I hated it.
Give an example of one meal that you guys, one dish.
Well, I remember there was a dish where we had peanut butter. I don't know what the peanut butter was eaten with. Frankly, I don't remember. But it just felt like they just took some groundnuts paste exactly.
And just slapped it.
And just slapped it on. Then you had to make do with it. Nothing, no flavor, nothing. So I remember more the food you had from home and the soakings. That's what you made. You made the best out of it. Some of us are eating and some of us are not eating.
Yeah, that's
What's that eating?
Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes.
So were your parents normally visiting you?
Yes, actually, my dad used to come and visit all the time.
Every Saturday?
Well, almost every Saturday. My father played golf at the Achimota Golf Club. So I got to see him very often. And it was a nice solace for him to come and see me as often as he could.
So he came with the whole crew.
No, he just came by himself. You know, golf. He came to play golf with his friends, and then I had some relatives who were in the house with me, so he would come and check on them. But most of the time, it was just a pleasure to see a familiar face. Actually, when I was in the middle of my boarding school life, I was a day student for 1 year in my Form 3. Form 3, I was a day student.
You did 6.
No, I didn't. Sixth form. As soon as I finished school, I went straight off to the US. So when I was around 17, 18.
Lucky.
No.
Not like the hustlers.
What else these Osu kids were?
When I was in boarding school, I was hustling.
They're not like these kids in Osu.
Eating Gary.
How is that happening?
You decided not to go to Saudi, right?
Yeah, but like I said, I liked it. I prepared it with, the soap.
Very sweet.
But some people eat it with just the pepper.
No, I've never learned how to do that.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
where did that go?
No, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so.
Well, Gary and Pepe.
Yeah.
It's just Gary and pepper. Who are suffering no?
Then you add water to it, and so it rises in your stomach. Eh?
That's a trick. That was your trick. That's
Not my trick.
Actually, there was a part whereby we call Allah season.
Last season, yes. We
That
call it
was
facing
that?
period.
That is when everyone gets broke.
Yeah, the stock goes down.
Even the richest kids, they even get broke around
There's
that
nothing
time.
to eat.
So that is why you see people eating gari with water with nothing.
Just Gary water, no sugar.
Yeah, some so gari with shit oil. You need extra oil. That's something we
Hala period, Ankasa.
that is
I
the
think that is the time, like getting to the part of the ending of the year.
That's it.
the
End of
Another
semester.
time, okay.
When stock is low, and parents are not willing to travel and come replenish.
Especially, just imagine you are in a school in Northern Region. The points are in that class.
That's scary. You have to start a farm then. Help yourself.
That would be better.
I remember we also used to do gardening. And we used to go to, I shouldn't be saying this while we're eating. But we had to go to the farm to get the manure to enrich the soil, exactly. So, and then we also had to get up early in the morning to do the jogging around the oval.
Oh, okay.
I hated that. With a passion.
But then, let me
weren't a
ask you a
sports
question.
person, were you?
Did
No,
you ever
I
fetch
did.
polu?
What's polu?
You don't know what polu
I
is?
have no idea.
Okay, I'll tell
Enlighten me.
You know, when you finish taking your bath,
Okay.
the water you take of your bath, it gets into a hole. So you have to, if you're from once, then you have to go and fetch that water and throw it away.
What school was that again? So I don't have to take my kids there.
There you go.
No, actually, I'm not going to mention any school, but I know it's been
Okay,
done.
that's cool, yeah.
In some
Yeah,
school.
it's been done in majority of the senior high school. That is a way to punish the form once, then to go and
Definitely
fetch.
not in St. Augustine's College. We didn't do that.
Or to conserve water.
No, just punishment.
Just punishment.
Just raw
you know,
punishment.
It's not like no matter what, someone has to fetch the water because when it gets full, it starts smelling and all that. But then when you are that kind of format thing that has the long years, doesn't want to listen to anything.
Aswarding, like
That's
you.
it. Oh, you know,
You had to do it a couple
no.
times. You
know,
did, right? Confess.
No. See, the most funny thing is when I was going to Form 1, I had a doctor's report. So I did, oh my God. I
So
did,
she's that a bit.
You are the
no, I wasn't that big.
Your dad and mama be.
I was none of them. But you know,
So
it
no
was
housework
fun.
for you.
Is that?
No
No
housework.
housework, exactly.
I know some people use come with what's it called? Doctor excuse so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you don't sweep because of the
Yeah,
dust.
yeah.
So, Ekem, tell
Yes.
us, what did you study in secondary school?
I do a lot of artwork. So actually, funny enough, my father encouraged me to do art throughout school. So I had imagined myself,
Here on this one.
when I was a kid actually, what I really wanted to do was become an antique book dealer. So I used to read a lot. I learned how to do book binding and publishing. So I had actually imagined myself one day owning an antique bookshop and then reading a lot. That's always been my passion, reading a lot. So that was it.
JP, you are not eating all. Come on.
Yeah,
Aren't you
I'm
enjoying
trying.
it?
I can't do both at the same time.
Can you remember any teacher way back in high school?
I remember my art teacher, Mr. Hagen.
Wow.
Yeah, Mr.
Mr.
Hagen.
Hagan, wherever you are.
Yeah, where
I
you?
come from Mano
And then when I was in primary school, I remember Mr. The Youngster, Mrs. Odway, Mrs. Tego. There was a Gambian woman, I keep forgetting her name. She was also with us in Richard. So yeah, my Richard.
You hear from them?
No, I don't know what any of them are in terms of the teachers, except for Mr. The Youngster. He owns the Youngster School in Kanda, Newtown, Adenta. Yes. So he was my class 7 teacher.
Oh, then shout out to him again.
Yes, so shout out to Mr. The Youngster.
So do they usually lash you in school? Since you are at Dada B?
No. They lost us, which was actually, I think, wrong. I don't think it really does.
So?
It doesn't accomplish anything.
I sure.
Spare the rod, spell the child.
For me, I never cried. And no matter how much you slash me, I never cried.
I have a thick
Why?
skin.
Is it
Never.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
What was your worst punishment in school?
You know, they had you sit against the wall, but there was no seat that you could sit on.
Oh, motto. That's what we call it.
Yeah, whatever you call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I think that boarding school was like the Lord of the Flies. The novel where kids were running the lives of kids. I think it was brutal. So, please,
Let's stop that practice.
now.
So when you became a senior, did you bully other
No.
juniors?
Actually, one time I did, and I so regretted it. That I remember, I was one of the seniors, that if the juniors wanted to run away from any sort of comeuppance from a senior, I'll be the one that would say, oh, Ekem sent me or something like that. Yeah. So I gained empathy, and then I don't recall myself being one of the wicked seniors. Yeah.
Okay, JP,
What's up?
enlighten us a little bit about it, because I see you to be a Dada B.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like my dad, my puppy they be.
Of course, I
So, that be.
know. I know say your puppy the B. That's why I thought say big talk.
So, yeah, secondary school for me was fun. It was great because of the community, the people I got to meet. You know, as well. I got to meet people that had different backgrounds, that came from, you know, different places, had different experiences, different taste in food, you know, and all that. So it was very interesting. And aside that too, since it was a home away from home, you had some opportunity to rebel when, you know, the opportunity came. And that was also interesting as well. Speaking of inter-schools
Oh my God.
sports.
Oh yeah.
So,
during your time was between which school and which school?
well, St. Augustine's was going head to head with Boucher most of the time.
Oh
and St.
my
Augustine's
God.
had to take the cup, obviously.
So
of course.
which school was winning?
St. Augustine's, obviously.
Please, I'm not sure.
Very true. Ask
There's
anybody in
no
Cape
Boche here
Coast.
too.
Oh yeah.
But I can tell you, if you find the time and records and you go back, within my year, that was, wow, should I say it?
Ask me about mine.
We want to know.
2008, so I finished secondary school in 2008. Yeah, and the year before, we won the hockey tournament.
Oh, you played hockey?
Yeah, I did.
I
I
played
was the
hockey
captain
too.
of the hockey team.
Yeah, I played hockey.
cheers to that.
Yes, exactly. I played hockey and I played cricket.
So they come back to those who lost to us.
Okay.
So who lost to us? Who are those who lost to us?
At disco.
Oh my God.
At disco.
Any disco in the house?
Yeah!
Right here, he'll give you all
Santa
the
Claus
info.
then.
Oh yeah.
All the way.
Give us a brief, you know,
Of what?
Of the defeat.
of
Of the
content.
field.
How did you feel when you lost?
Oh,
Which I'm sure you did a lot of times.
we won. And the following year, we lost.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're right.
We
You
won.
Yeah.
Which year was this?
I remember the
before,
year.
yeah.
But we won a particular year. The subsequent year, we lost.
Yeah, and I think you got a little cocky. You thought you would win a game.
So, you know, that's no problem at all.
But did you play any sports?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Were
did,
you
yeah.
supporting?
Which ones?
I played karate, martial arts.
Karate?
Yes.
Oh, so what belt were you?
I got the 5th degree black belt.
5th degree, not just black belt. The 5th, the
5th
highest.
degree.
So if I need a bodyguard, I'm not done.
Hey,
Good to
Strong
know.
enough.
But before the bodyguard, I need a security.
CID.
I need CID.
I need security for my office, so I can help out with that.
Those
Black
were the,
belt,
Those
wow.
were the days where Osu Cinema is very close to this
Oh,
place.
yes,
Yes,
that's
Rex.
Rex.
No, Osu
So
Cinema.
there was Osu Cinema and there was
Yes.
Rex Cinema as
There's
well.
Rex Cinema and there's Regal Cinema. And Osu Cinema showed all the Chinese movies. And all those
Yes,
movies
so-
of those movies of old.
What school did you go to?
Okay, so I attended Shebakodia Senior High School.
Okay,
TK, it's in Kumawu.
I know Kumewu.
Yeah,
I like that place.
far away. Like the school you go, and then from the town to the school is a journey on its own. So like we are there, we are not there. You go to school and you won't even come out till it's vacation. It was a very nice experience. So yeah.
So did you run away to town? Oh, you couldn't run away to town
You
because too
couldn't
far.
run away to town because you'll be going and everybody will be looking at your head like you'll be going.
So that brings to the question. How many of us jumped the wall?
Oh, I didn't have a wall in my school.
I have an open field.
So
Walk
I
across
can
the
see
village.
you were really a town guy, right?
I used to go sometimes to explore what was happening in Cape Coast because Cape Coast was a home away from home. So I was trying to figure out what's happening in Cape Coast. Where would you go if you want to have a good time? You know, where would you go if you want to make some music? Where do the artists go to? That was my kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
What
just a
school
bit.
did you go to?
He was again.
High school. I don't really like mentioning it because no one knows.
Oh,
Really, you think
Try,
so?
try
I
it.
mentioned
How about your
TK all
classmates?
the way from. I mentioned
Okay,
TK.
so I went to Blessed Tutorial College.
What?
The Blessed Tutorial College.
Where's that?
It's at Kaswa.
Okay,
A little closer to the main college.
Okay.
I went to a day school, right?
Okay,
So close from school, go back to home, go do your chores. But most of the times, I don't really like going to the back home early.
Why?
Because when you go, there are a lot of chores to be
Waiting
done.
for you.
Yes, so you have to wait in the class, study all you have to study, then you go.
Then you go home.
So at times I can get to the house like 4:30, 5. Hey, what are you doing? I had something to do before you get back to your chores.
Make sure your parents don't watch this show.
Oh, my mommy knows me to be a good cook.
Okay.
You know,
Cook.
yeah.
What do you know how to cook very well?
Jollof, mango and okro, fufu with laisu,
Okay.
goat meat, of course.
One day we'll come to your house.
No problem, you're always welcome.
I'm following you right now. So don't worry about when I'm coming. Tonight.
On weekends, you're always
On weekends?
welcome. Yes.
Upon Chikaka Papa.
I kept looking for his cake.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got it.
You are doing the questioning, so you should also tell us about you.
There you go. What school?
Okay. My school life was very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because where I started to where I ended. I know JP's ears are itching to hear more.
So
Don't
it's
worry.
yesterday.
Really? Okay. I started school at Akosmos National School. It was very fun because we were mixed with both seniors and juniors, as in SHS, junior high school, primary to toddlers. And then there was nothing to show that we were seniors or juniors. We were all like,
One-on-one.
everything about it was good. Then I went to Keta School. Shout out to all Jolalians, you know.
Okay.
Now or never. Jolali was a very good school. Nice, but I had to skip a lot of things, telling them that I was sick. So
You were sick?
Yeah, I had to take a doctor's report because
You didn't want to work.
So was it fake or was it real?
Fake.
You didn't want to
both
work.
of
You
them.
didn't want to work.
No. It's both of them because actually when I went to the school, my dressing and everything made attention. Okay, so the seniors really hated me. So I had to.
Yes.
I had to wear something to make me look good.
Hot.
Thank you.
You went in prepared.
Is that what?
You went in prepared. That's okay. And you created attention for yourself.
It's quite unfortunate my dad wasn't there to see that. But because of where I started from. So Charlie, now I know swag. I'm not coming to SS to learn swag. Because the first day I entered the school, my dress, my shoe and my handbag, once we were wearing a school bag, having handbag with my kind of Miss Malika walking.
Hey,
Okay.
Oh yeah. So, what again?
Well, you tell us.
Uh,
But knock knock.
Nocturnal.
Knock knock.
Nocturnal.
Yes, this is a show live right here. See how it is flipped.
There you go.
See the magic.
Nocturnal, nightlife just got better. Forget about everything for a moment. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Yeah.
Me, I don't know how to sing it, but shout out to David Bolton and his crew for giving us a very, very good song.
Yeah, DK Beats.
Studios.
So let's go. Nocturnal.
Nocturnal.
Woo! Night just go better. Forget about everything for a moment. Let's party.
Hey.
Knock, knock.
Nocturnal.
Knock, knock.
Nocturnal.
Oh,
Beckham.
yes, sir.
What's one thing, just one particular thing, you have to point out about secondary school that you love the most and you won't take away for anything?
I would say the time I spent with the guys who were artists like me.
Okay.
And to the dear departed Yalbi, very good friend of mine, Yalbuafo. And then Marcus Apejedanka. And also the departed Neo Kante Ajiti. Those were my crew. The four of us were always together.
The gangsters.
Yes.
Oh my
No, we're all
God.
artists. We're all dealing with the art well. All three of them were animators. So we made comic books. And then also my guys who I went to House 12 with, like Kotina Samoa, Lawrence Crawford, Samuel Akwe. And they're the ones who I hang out with, Jasper. They were all the guys in my dormitory, you know. So I remember others like Sebefia, Yofi Grant, and Don. Who else? There were a bunch of them. So it was a good time. We grew up together. We had a good time together. But the ones I remember the most are the artist friends of mine. Albi, Apeje Danka, and Neo Kante Ajiti.
So the brotherhood, basically.
Yes,
That's
the brotherhood.
what you never take away.
Exactly.
And how about the others?
Well, the others too, they're all around. Kandea somewhere, Gotina somewhere, he's in the US. Michael Atta is in the US. They are both doctors. Samuel Akwe is in Los Angeles in the entertainment business.
Okay.
His father is Saka Akwe. And then Lawrence Crawford, who was another friend of mine. So yeah, I just remember those days were fun. I also want to say the same thing about my primary school days. I even cherish that even more than my secondary school days, exactly. And what I remember the most.
You didn't have fun in secondary school that much, then, as much as you did in primary school.
Secondary school is brutal. We all know it's brutal. It's not sweet. Yeah, what about your top five? Top five music. You start. Let's start with you.
Okay, the song going was Saturday. R2Bs.
R2Bs, okay.
Yes, and D-Crime song. Yeah.
Music, songs, albums, artists, whatever.
So with R2Bs, baby, the things you do me, they make kind of feel. Yeah.
You remember that?
So that was the song Raining and Saturday.
Okay, who else? Number two.
Saturday, D-Crime. And there was a gospel song as well.
Which one is that?
From CC Winer. And Mary Mary too as well.
Were you prefer SE when you were in school?
Oh, I used to sing and I'm still singing. So you know, like.
Me, I wasn't SU at all.
Scripture union. And when you don't go, they say you are what? A devil in disguise.
You don't want to pray to God.
I mean, you didn't go. You weren't going.
Yeah, I didn't go.
Yes.
For the church.
No, I was supposed to go to church.
Skipping church on Sundays.
No, I had to go. After going, I went. So what I'm saying is that I remember my friends one semester or one term, they are Jesus Christ, praying, crying, speaking in tongues, all kinds of things. The next semester, what do you think they're doing?
Oh my God. Blinded.
So I always told them, look, make up your mind if it's this or that. But don't come and confuse me. 1 week or one term you are this, one time you are that. So all you young people, your parents used to do some naughty things when they were in boarding school. So yeah, your top five.
Okay, I don't really have the top five.
Okay.
But then I like romantic songs.
Romantic, okay.
Yes, any romantic song is like, you know.
Valses song.
No, it's not about vows. You know, I like songs that would touch me. You know, I don't just like any song. Probably if I like a song, maybe it's the sound, the beat. But apart from that, I like slow jam. So any slow jam is fine.
It's fine for you.
How G?
Michael Jackson,
Oh my
Whitney.
God.
Whitney.
Wait,
Yeah, Whitney.
So
Yeah,
wait.
Whitney.
You have to do some Michael Jackson moves for us. Oh my God. Yeah.
That one.
Michael Jackson,
Nocturnal,
Whitney.
baby.
Nocturnal.
Knock knock.
Nocturnal.
Knock knock.
Nocturnal. So Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, then there's Sarkodie, there's Daddy Lumba, and there's Shalama.
Oh,
Salama.
give us
Oh,
a
yeah.
freestyle,
Which song is
a freestyle.
Shalama is second time around.
Yes, that's one of them.
Give us a freestyle.
Which one?
Any
Oh,
of
please,
them.
you're touching the guy.
Oh, which one? Which of the freestyle?
I'll prepare Lumba. Okay, yeah.
What about you?
I don't know. Lumba is one of mine.
Is that what?
Lumba is one of my top 5.
So,
Freestyle from Lumba.
For Lumba,
The Lumba hit.
all the songs. Any Lumba song that comes out.
Just one.
pick any of them.
Just bless us with one.
Touch out. Don't do this to me.
Yeah, really.
I think it's the voice.
111666.
111
That's my number.
Knock knock.
Nocturnal.
Knock knock.
Nocturnal.
Still live.
What about you? Yeah.
Okay. Top 5.
Yeah.
I always go for Obrafo. Obrafo is my man. Mauritius.
Yeah.
There are some punchlines in that song. I'll go for Altubis. Yeah, Mugit is my all-time favorite. And then
Ratata.
Akobwa. Oh, Akobwa is my man. Who else?
So, Aquaba freestyle.
Akobwa freestyle. Akobwa freestyle. This is torture.
Really?
Akobwa freestyle.
No, like, we actually want to know how loyal you are.
To
Yeah.
Akobwa. Yeah. Akobwa, you listen to this?
Oh,
He's listening.
Okay. I say,
What's the name?
it doesn't come. It is not coming.
No, Gavin.
Let's see a cap.
Cobra. Cobra.
Yeah. So you.
So
You're
my
the DJ,
favorite- it'll be difficult for me. I'll be very
Get a bunch.
biased.
Okay.
I'll be very biased if I have a favorite, but I'll be honest that I like Charlie. It's going to be difficult though. Because there's so many. But R2Bs is one of them. R2Bs is one of them. Over the years, they've crossed through generations. Knock knock.
Nocturnal.
Knock knock.
Nocturnal.
Right, so knock knock.
Nocturnal.
Knock knock.
Nocturnal.
So it's still live right here on Nocturnal, the nighttime variety TV show. Yeah, Ekem, it's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you very much.
You know, enjoying your company and finding out what you've been doing back in the days. And I'm glad to know that you're a publisher as well. 'Cause
Well, I try to. I write. You know, I'm a creative person, so I do my best to try and do some of that. This show is one of the instances of me trying to do that.
got you. So thank you very much for
Thank you
executive
so much.
producing this show,
Thank you
putting
so
it
much.
together. So this is Knock Knock.
Nocturnal.
Knock Knock.
Nocturnal.
Nocturnal. Nightlife just got better. Forget about everything for a moment. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Yeah.
Gari is a common African dish, and one might say that is actually the MacGyver, as some might say, of food in Ghana, because it can be used for a variety of meals, from something in the form of a cereal, which we call in Ghana soakings, all the way to things like yoke gari, which is gari tempered with water and then eaten with fried plantain and beans. We also have gari foto, which is basically a gari jollof, whereby you mix the gari with the stew and it's usually served with fish. Sometimes you can also add condiments like fried plantain, among other things. Gari can also be used to make eba. Eba is a mound, which is the gari equivalent of, let's say, fufu. So it's eaten with the soup at times, and more often it's eaten with egusi. So welcome, and let us get started on seeing how we Ghanaians prepare gari in a variety of forms, first starting with soakings. So this is how gari appears. It's usually sold in a plastic bag. Others put them in pre-prepared manufactured containers, but largely one can buy this in the market in a plastic bag. Gari is basically made of cassava, and gari is produced by drying the cassava, grating the cassava, and then roasting it. That is how gari is typically made. So the first thing that I do is to make sure that the gari is as smooth as, let's say, sea sand. And the one way in which I do that is I basically sieve the gari before actually soaking the gari. At times, gari can have some big nuggets in it by the nature of the grating process. And the grating process, of course, does not make everything as fine as some would like to have them, turn out. So basically, the smooth sieve the gari, the water, the cans of condensed milk which replace the powdered milk, and the sugar, some Milo, and some Cerelac. Cerelac is a meal for babies, but it's a delicious condiment for a gourmet version of gari soakings. So first now we'll take the gari, add it in there like that. Okay, and then I wash the gari. This gari is quite clean, but if the gari is quite dirty, and at times it can be, one has to wash the gari. So one can basically do that, and I would suggest that you move the gari back and forth in the water, and it might bring up all the impurities that might be in the gari. So after you've done that, the next thing that you do, and you always have to, when you soak the gari, you have to make sure that you keep the gari wet, because every time you put gari in water, it soaks up all the water, and it then turns into a mound, or let's say something solid, because the gari absorbs all the water. Then I pour that. Keep track of the gari so it doesn't get, so you can see that the gari had a lot of water in it, and it's already getting a bit thicker than it was when we usually put the initial amount of water in it. So we can add a little bit more water. Let's add the second can. Okay, let's put that over here. And then I put generous heaps of Milo into the soakings. And I do the same for Cerelac. And then mix it up nicely. Sometimes what I even do when I make the soakings, I also use very cold water. And at times, rather than keep adding water to it, I put ice blocks in it. So the ice blocks slowly but surely keep the keep the gari soaked, I should say, yeah. Then, after doing that, you can now add your groundnuts to it. Again, we took the gari, added water, added the canned milk, we added some Cerelac, and we added some Milo, and we topped it up with some groundnuts. So this is the new and improved version of gari soakings.
Nocturnal, nightlife just got better. Forget about everything for a moment. Let's party, let's party, let's party, let's party, yeah.
Nocturnal is about reminiscing in tempo. It is also about discussing the passions of our guests. Today we have in the studio Fifi Nunekweku, who describes himself as a coffee lover. Welcome, Fifi.
Thank you, Donald.
And how are you today?
It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
I'm very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is your passion?
This is my passion. Coffee lover, not
Coffee
a
lover.
connoisseur. So I may stand for correction in most of the things I may say, but they are the truth and facts.
So what types of coffee do we have? I see two types here. Which ones are these two?
Okay, this is just to show you that one is dark roasted and
Yes.
one is light roasted or medium roasted.
Medium roasted.
And the dark roasted is Arabica coffee, And then the medium roasted is Robusta coffee, which is grown in Ghana. Yes, in the hills or mountains area of Volta region. Yes, right here in our country.
Right in our country. I was not aware that we grew coffee in Ghana. Is it on commercial basis or?
Yes, most of the products for Jamestown coffee were actually collected from the old plantations that were institutioned by the former president Kwame Nkrumah. And so they were left unattended, and so they picked the berries from the wild. That's what makes it different from they are not controlled farms, they are just growing out in the wild, and the farmers, we just ask them to go hand pick them, sort them out, roast them, and then bring them to you in this bag. Yeah.
So what is the difference between Robusta and Arabica coffee?
We can say basically that the Robusta is more acidic, and the Arabica is more acidic to the taste, and Robusta is not. So most people enjoy drinking the Robusta because it gives you a full taste, and you have what coffee really stands for. Well, the first coffee that were brewed and enjoyed were mostly Arabica coffee. So the expansion of the knowledge all over the world meant that if you have Arabica coffee, you are tasting the best of coffee because it came from the Arabia region. Yeah, but it originally was grown in Ethiopia, and that's how coffee began its journey to the world.
To the world, yes. I see. So I see you have two coffee makers here.
Yes, one is this is the filter coffee.
Yes.
Where you have a chamber where you put the ground coffee, and the water reservoir is also hidden, so it boils and steams and pour its content onto the ground coffee. The hot water stays around the coffee for some time, and extracts the coffee from the ground product and filters into this reservoir. Yeah, and so it's there's more liquid to it and more volume when you have a filter coffee. An espresso coffee gives you, you can have a filter coffee filled in. This is about 600 ml. But an espresso takes a smaller amount of ground coffee, and it uses a different type of machine. So you have a volume of 40 ml to about 60 ml of coffee for a double shot of espresso, which I usually do. Single shot will be about 30 ml, which, you don't really taste. But if you want something to quickly give you the rush, then you take one espresso. Or if you've had too much coffee, one espresso is good. But if you want to start your day, a double espresso always works.
So always works, I see.
But between the two, I prefer to have my espresso coffee. Yes. So maybe we'll demonstrate.
Sure, go ahead.
So this is actually the Robusta coffee.
That's made in Ghana.
That's made in Ghana.
Jamestown
Roasters. We also have Asili coffee, which is also made in Ghana. And I heard there's a recent one called Gold Coast Roasters, which is also introduced. We had Upcountry coffee, which is no more, but is the same as the Jamestown coffee, or similar. Yes. And so for filtered coffee, the grinding of the beans should be coarser. And then to make an espresso coffee, you have to use finer ground coffee. However, it's up to you to use a preference. This is coarse to fine, between coarse and fine, the Robusta, and it makes perfect espresso. Okay, so here you go. Okay. It's already filtered and tampered, and I insert it right there. You place it carefully under and start your brewing. The best of coffees give you a very good crema, so you have a very good half of an inch of cream on the coffee, as you will see. So instead of being black, you see the light brown, and then you have the foam separating, or the crema separating from the body of the coffee. And you should watch it and put it off just when it's done.
So with this coffee that you just made, does it have any milk in it?
There's no milk in it. No, this is what an espresso is. Yeah. And if you want to have milk, it changes what it is as an espresso into a cappuccino or a latte. Latte has more milk, and less crema. So it's like when you froth the milk, you have the foam, as I mean, Ghanaians understand it by saying the foam that comes on top of the milk, as you see here. And you have less of that in the latte, but more of that in a cappuccino. Yeah, so cappuccino or latte is just milk and espresso coffee.
So can I try this?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
So this is called a...
This is an espresso coffee
made from Ghana.
Made from Ghanaian coffee, and it's Robusta coffee. This is how it should be drunk.
I need to savor the smell
you
first.
Savor the smell, you feel the warmth, and then you take your first swallow. Yeah, and it should be drunk hot. So yeah, it's just like you have a tequila shot. It has to be drunk quickly, but you first have the taste, enjoy the palate, the taste, savor it, smell the flavor.
It's quite hot, so I think I would
of
put it down here, let it cool down a bit.
Of course. But one thing with coffee is it's not widely enjoyed in Ghana, especially with the beans. So a lot of people ask me, what happens to the ground coffee after you finish the first brew? And when they see me throwing it away, they go like, oh, so it's wasted. But yes, it's not instant soluble coffee where the whole scoop is what is dissolving what you're going to drink. This is the steam that has extracted the coffee, out, and so this becomes wasted. So you have to pour it to make a new one. Yeah. So excuse me.
Let me try this again.
Okay.
I think I will have to wait for a few more minutes.
Of course.
Yes. What are the elements in coffee that allows you to, or acts as the disqualifier or something like, let me give you this example. I went to a perfume shop. Whilst after smelling several perfumes, the owner of the shop asked me to smell coffee. And thereafter, he asked me to smell the different kind of perfumes. What is in coffee that allows you, or that does something to the perfume so that you're able to smell different type of perfumes at different times?
The relation is actually not between the coffee and the perfume. It's actually for your olfactory system, because when you take the coffee or you smell it, you kind of clean all the memory your brain might have picked from smelling the first fragrance of the perfume, and so it gives you a cleaner slate for you to appreciate what the second perfume will have. And because it has a stronger aroma, it really gives you, like I said, a clean slate.
Clean slate, yes.
It takes the memory of the old perfume, of the first perfume you smelled, away completely, and then gives you the opportunity to appreciate the second smell in its entirety, without having a relation to the two perfumes that you have.
So therefore, in addition to enjoying good coffee, you can also use coffee to help you distinguish or to choose what kind of perfume to buy.
Well, the retailers use that because it helps them to close a sale, so people can really appreciate the different types of perfume that they are smelling. But it's not done in every shop. Some shop will ask you to take a walk, and come back and do the other. You don't spray in the same area. So you have one here, one there, and one somewhere else to appreciate the difference of smell.
Maybe we should try the other coffee too.
Yes, of course. Yes, I just did that. So this is the Arabica coffee. Of course, it's ground coarse, so it's meant for the filter machine. But I still use it in the espresso machine.
This Ghana coffee has a bit of taste of chocolate or some chocolatey smell to it.
Yes. Excuse me, let me think.
Because just by coincidence or?
Well, no, actually. Well, when the beans grow in the wild, you have the cross-pollination and also the effect of other plants that are growing around it. So if you have an orchid close by and the insects, the butterflies are visiting, or the bees are visiting all the flowers, they bring with it, the fragrance from other places, and cross-pollination allows you to have that effect in the coffee.
So since Ghana is known for its very excellent cocoa or chocolate,
Yes.
I guess the cross-pollination may have
Yes,
entered into the coffee
not
giving it that
the chocolatey, well,
sweet chocolatey smell.
well, not entirely, because if you have the cocoa pod, you don't taste chocolate in it until it's processed.
That's
so
very true. Yes.
So the chocolate doesn't come from the other cocoa trees. It comes from a combination of other factors and other orchids. So any other fruit, and sometimes you can take some citrusy in the in the coffee, which gives you impression that there could be orangery nearby also. So this is a coffee from
excellent
Arabica. And here we go. So that's about it. And there. So if you could tell, well, this is already finished, but if you could tell, there's a slight difference. That was darker when it came out, and this is a bit lighter.
Lighter.
Yeah, even though the
in the granules.
Yeah, even though the ground coffee was coarser than, looks darker than the Robusta, it is not finely ground. So the water that goes around it does not enter. It doesn't have a large surface area to extract a lot more of the dark effect of the coffee than the finer ground, but lighter, lightly roasted Robusta coffee. Yeah, so you can tell the difference between the two.
Excellent. Yeah. Aren't you having some?
Well, I will, but
I'm only two.
I'm already a lover, so of course I will have one.
This tastes lighter.
Yes, it tastes lighter. As I was explained, it looks darker, but it's coarsely ground than the finely ground, light to dark Robusta coffee. So you will notice that the extraction of the coffee drink from this will be much more deeper or stronger than the coarsely ground coffee.
Okay.
So
how many spoons do you put in there?
Well, I filled the filter, so I will demonstrate briefly. This is actually the filter for a double espresso.
Double espresso.
So for a single espresso, you need another filter, and it's about half the size of that. So you put it in this lever here, which allows you to lock it in that. So to make it an even brew, you'll have to tamper the surface of the ground coffee before you lock it into the machine. And to bring the best out of the machine, you have to make sure that the indication shows ready. So the water that's coming to infuse the coffee out of the ground, ground beans will be the best. Okay. So I put the sugar in the milk here for the purpose of, telling, making you aware that some people would like their coffee sweetened because it has a bitter. Naturally, it's bitter. It's just like Coca-Cola that has. Oh, okay. It's just like cola nut. Yes, that's bitter. So you need to sweeten it, and this is it. So if I mix this with milk, equal part of it will be a cappuccino. But if I froth the milk in this way, I'll just explain. You just put this plunger there and allow air with hot water. Swirl the milk and bring it some foam. So I hope you can capture that. So that's what happens. Okay. So if I would want to turn this into a cappuccino, I'll just pour a bit of the milk on it. Sorry, it's spilling. And then add a bit of this froth on it. And that's it. So, I mean, that would be in a bigger cup, of course, but for the purpose of showing you what it is to make a cappuccino.
Yeah.
And that's why it's expensive, or it takes a lot more preparation than just the coffee we have. So,
So to all the coffee lovers?
yes, to all the coffee lovers.
Yes, to you.
And to every Ghanaian to also know that we have coffee right here in Ghana. Cheers.
Cheers.
Great.
That's good, eh?
Well done. You have 2 shots, so that's like 4 shots of espresso.
Well, espresso.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you, Fifi, for coming on to the show.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
I've enjoyed the coffee,
Yeah.
and I've learned something new today, that actually we do have coffee. You can find it on the Ghanaian market, and it tastes excellent.
Yes. So there's Asili coffee. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it. And there's Jamestown Roasters. And we have Gold Coast Roasters as well.
Thank you.
So, yes.
So to all the viewers, we thank you for staying tuned to Nocturnal, and see you next time.
Nocturnal, nightlife just got better. Forget about everything for a moment. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party.
So welcome back from the commercial break. This is DJ JP and you're live right here on Nocturnal, the nighttime variety TV show.
And the coffee brewed in Ghana was excellent. The aroma, the guest, the ambience was fantastic.
I also had Kinke, and the Kinke was lovely. I enjoyed it with some friends, and we spoke about the old school days back in secondary school. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you again same time next week.
See ya.
Knock, knock.
Nocturnal.
Knock, knock, nocturnal. Nightlife just got better. Forget about everything for a moment. Let's party. Let's party, yeah. Knock, knock, nocturnal. Nightlife just got better.